So welcome everyone. I'm Nancy Allen, and we're so happy that you're able to join our virtual town hall. And we're doing these town halls on Mondays in an effort to keep you up to date on everything that's going on around our state. So normally we have another person on the call with us, Stephanie, who is our coordinator up in the North Florida area. Stephanie, unfortunately, is not feeling too well, so I'll be filling in for Stephanie. Joanna Sanchez is with us from our Tampa Bay area, and Diane is with us from Orlando. And starting next week, we're going to have Emily McHugh join us from the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach counties. So I'm going to start off with you, Diane, and I'm going to ask if you can give us an update on what's going on in the Orlando area.
Okay, well, I'm hearing from a lot of people who are having trouble getting into the system to try to apply for the business relief. So I'm hoping we can talk about that today for sure. I see that Kat Losey's on the phone, so she is someone who can actually shed some light on that for us, so that's very helpful. Otherwise, everyone has battened down the hatches here. Most of our counties are under the stay inside, edict, and they're pretty much obeying that, so that's good. Our counts keep going up, which is not great. But yeah, so business is ticking along, and our restaurants are still open, so people are able to order from restaurants, and they're doing something tomorrow since it's the 7th and our area code is 407. We're having 407 day, and that is where everybody orders something from a restaurant just to try to help the restaurants out. So for either delivery or pickup. I personally spent maybe an hour on the phone yesterday trying to find some toilet paper because I did not hoard, and I don't need it just yet, but there's no one who has toilet paper. So can't get it from Walmart, Target, CVS, Office Depot, or any of the other places I normally go. So good luck out there if y'all are looking for toilet paper. I ordered facial tissue, just in case. Anyway, that's my business update from Central Florida.
Okay, great. How about you, Joanna? What's going on in Tampa Bay?
Hey, hi, everybody. I do want to share with you that the SBDC of Florida is working actively to help small business owners. Just last week, I had a site visit, and the woman that I spoke to was having questions about the PPP loan, and she went and I was like, really, the SBDC is there to help you? And I forwarded an email to her, and they responded right away to her. So I'm going to get an update with her soon as far as how she's doing with the loan and if it was processed already. But the fact that she had received the response right away means that they are working hard. And Janina Rosario, she is who I know at the SBDC, and she was telling me that she's working 12 to 14-hour days. So yeah, they are working hard. And then also last week I did a few trainings. The one training that kind of stuck out to me was the LinkedIn 101 training that was offered by the Working Women of Tampa Bay. And a few tips out there is, number one, think about your social media platforms, and, each platform could be a different target market. So you don't necessarily have to put the same thing on each market, and try to see which market is bringing you the specific type of customers, and then tailor your marketing towards that. I thought that was interesting. On LinkedIn, if you go on there and you see those little pencils, just click on that and edit it and update your LinkedIn. That way, you're up to date on that. One more thing. Oh yeah, and also, the one main thing that she said too that I thought was interesting was to, when you're doing the about section on your LinkedIn, to do it in first person, not third, so that you're really talking and sharing, like, and it's coming from you, not like someone else, and you're like too good, that you can't talk to your customers. So check your LinkedIn and see if you have those things. But yeah, that's
great.
Joanna.
Those are great tips, Joanna. Thank you. And can you put in, hold on just a second, Diane, excuse me. Joanna, can you put the Working Women of Tampa Bay link in the chat? Because that's where you took that class, right? Was through Working Women of Tampa Bay. We talked about this last week. We are, working with Working Women of Tampa Bay very closely. And we have a meeting coming up to discuss how we can get our members to be expert trainers for Working Women of Tampa Bay. But in the meantime, you can go onto their website. They've got some fabulous training that they're doing, and is very cost effective. And a portion of the payment that you make goes to helping women in the Tampa Bay community. For helping them with their small business cash flow problems. Okay, so I'm sorry, Diane, I interrupted you. What were you going to share?
Oh, just another tip from LinkedIn is to, when you put your title or your description, instead of putting your job title, they say to put something that's more sweeping. I think mine says something like I'm advocate for business owners, small business, something like that. So, it's a little more descriptive of you overall as a person and as a professional than just your job title or your work title, president of. So
yeah, that is great. Yeah, they did mention about for your title, if you can say the market you're in, the industry, your service, and the target market in that little section, then you are headed on the right path. So I was kind of working with my title, so I'm the program coordinator at WBEC Florida. We're WBEC's national regional partner. We're their WBEC National's regional partner, and we support women-owned businesses. So that kind of tells you my position in the company and what our company does. So I need to perfect that a little bit more, but then I'll be updating mine.
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. And I see, Joanna, that you put workingwomenoftampa.com.
Oh, gosh.
Tampa Bay, right?
Yes,
workingwomenoftampabay.com. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let me kind of bring you up to speed on what's happening in North Florida, and then I'll talk about South Florida as well. So in our resources section, if you go to the top of the chat, I put a link to the WBEC Florida website with our resources section. And Steph has a couple of things listed in there. And the best advice is really to connect with your local chamber. Your local chambers of commerce. And that kind of, goes around our region, right? If you're not connected with your local chamber of commerce, now would possibly be a good time to do that. If you just go onto their website, usually they have information for non-members because they want to get you to be a member, but they're usually a really great resource. The SBA, the SBDC, as we've said already, those are really great resources as well. And Joanna, I'm going to ask you to put in Yanina's email address.
Okay.
So if anybody doesn't have a direct link to their own SBDC person, you can reach out to Yanina. I'm sure she won't mind us sharing this, and she'll be able to guide you. Or you could just go to the sbdc.gov and type in your location, and your resource center will pop up. But they do have lots and lots of great information. WBEC, our national partner, has been putting out lots of information as well regarding classes and online trainings and opportunities to work with some of our corporates and their executive leadership programs. Now is the time to start thinking about applying for those leadership program opportunities. If you've never done so in the past, they're wonderful. I always encourage our members to apply to these programs. Number one, you can apply for a scholarship. So WBEC has a really great scholarship program called the Dorothy Brothers Scholarship Program. You go on to WBEC.org, look for, I think it's under the opportunities section, and you can find information about the Dorothy B. Brothers Scholarship Program. And I think you can get a scholarship of up to $10,000 to attend leadership training programs. And this is a running scholarship, and you identify a program that you're interested in participating in, apply for a scholarship. They pay the tuition and fees. You pay for, getting yourself to the location plus the room and board, right? But at least the tuition and fees can be taken care of through the scholarship program. Other things that WBEC, or just an update in case you haven't seen it, WBEC did decide to cancel the Summit and Salute, and we're looking at ways to do matchmaking on virtual, do some of the business labs virtually. So stay tuned for that. As soon as I hear any information, I will pass that along to you. But WBEC, being a good corporate citizen and following the dictates of the stay in place or shelter in place, or whatever it is that we're trying to do to mitigate and minimize the spread of this virus, WBEC did decide to cancel the WBEC National Conference and Business Fair. So stay tuned for what's going to happen to help you connect with our corporate sponsors and with each other. So that's pretty much the update that I have. I will share with you all that our business, the WBEC Florida, our business account is with Bank of America. So I did go ahead this morning and apply for the COVID-19 funding from the, what is it called, the Paycheck Protection Plan. And it really was easy. I think this is the first step, right? You go in to your bank where you have a banking relationship for your small business, because there are a number of questions that they ask related to your relationship with them. So they verify that we have an account that was open before February of this year, that we don't have another business account. Our business account is with Bank of America. They verify your contact information, your title, that sort of thing. And then you upload all of that, and you get some information back that they will be contacting you hopefully shortly with some additional information that you need to provide. So I would go ahead and look at the SBA loan application, because it's a little bit more complicated than what I've just explained. And it includes some of the things that you might need to upload. So for example, you might need to upload your, prior year's tax returns, your articles of incorporation, financial documents. If you use a payroll system, we use ADP, and I just contacted ADP and got the report for last year's payroll. And that helps you calculate how much you can apply for through this program. I don't know if Diane or Joanna, you have any further insight to add on that, or maybe we could ask Kat Losey. Catherine, I'm gonna allow you to talk. Let's see if we can hear you. Take yourself off mute if you can. And share any insight. First, introduce yourself to everyone who's listening, and then share some insight on what you know about the SBA loan programs.
Hi, everyone. This is Catherine Losey. I'm an attorney with Low CP LLC. We're a full service law firm based out of Orlando, Florida, servicing the business community. As far as the SBA Payroll Protection Act loans, I've received a lot of questions from people whose banks are not SBA lenders and how they will deal with that if they're not a current customer. So I was wondering if there might be a resource page that we could point people to find other options.
Yes, actually, Catherine, if you send that to me, we'll put it on our WBEC Florida resource page.
Okay, great. So really, there's been a lot of changes that have been happening rapidly with the SBA payroll loan program. I recommend everyone reach out, as Nancy said, to their payroll provider to get those reports as soon as possible and just get into the queue to get a call back or an email from your bank to get that loan as soon as possible.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And I see Emily McHugh is on the line. So Emily, I'm going to allow you to talk too, because I see you had some information about the SBA.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I was trying to get on the video, but I don't know why it won't show me. So I don't think you can see me or anything.
No, there's a lovely picture of you on the screen now, Emily.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I can see you all great and hear you. So if you're hearing me, that's good. So, yeah, so good morning and thrilled to be amongst this lovely group of ladies. And thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
For the opportunity to be with you all. So yeah, I shared about the SBA's hotline. You may know about that already. It's a 24/7 hotline number that people can call to any questions answered regarding the loan applications. And I called them Friday and they were very good because I've gotten a lot of inquiries from our SBDC clients not knowing what to do with different things. And so they explained it very clearly. The number one question I kept getting asked was about the grant. People didn't understand how that worked. So according to what they shared, when you apply for the loan, the economic disaster loan, there's a box at the bottom of the application that says, do you want an expedited advance of the loan funds? You have to check that box. That's technically the grant. So they will, if you don't check it, you won't get a grant. But if you check it, the advance that they send you is equivalent to a grant and you don't have to repay that advance amount. So, because people were thinking you had to apply for a separate grant.
Okay,
So
and that's for just a general disaster loan, is that correct?
Yeah, that was for the, actually, let me just look at my notes while I'm talking to you. That was the economic disaster, what are they calling that? Yeah, the main disaster loan that everyone's applying for.
Right. And so I want everybody to be really aware of this because it's really important. If you apply for one disaster loan or one type of program from the SBA, you cannot apply for another program. Okay, so be very careful which one you choose because it will preclude you from applying for others. Okay, and that was one of the questions on the application that I filled out this morning for WBEC Florida is have you applied for any other loans within the last, I think 24 months or something. So be really specific as to which one you want to apply for.
Nancy, following on that point, when I called the hotline, I also asked them about the Paycheck Protection Program, and they told me that the SBA said that you have to apply for that at your bank directly, not through, the SBA links. You have to go to your bank, like you went to Bank of America, go there and apply for that. It's 100% backed by the SBA. However, she did not. She made it sound as if you could do both of them, but it's just done differently. But I guess maybe you can't apply for like 2 disaster loans with the SBA. You can only do 1, but you still probably can also do the Paycheck Protection Program directly with your bank.
Okay, well, you know what? I received some different information, so we will check on that for
Okay.
everybody,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we'll let you know. We'll send out an email with some kind of an explanation. Maybe I misunderstood, but yes. So apply directly to your bank, and your bank has to be an SBA approved lender, and most of the larger banks are. You can go on to the SBA website to see which banks are the SBA approved lenders. But yes, you have to apply through your bank where you have your operating expenses, your small business account, because they want to verify the information regarding your small business account to verify that yes, you're a bona fide small business and all of that. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
There, Jacqueline Darna, who's on here, also said a tip for you: if you have 2 businesses, you can only apply for one of your businesses. So if you have a business partner in that second business, have the business partner file for the other one.
Okay. All right. And I'm seeing a question about the Nestle program. No, we don't have any updates yet, but as soon as we do, I'll let you know. Okay, we'll let everybody know. I think they are really pushing for all of these programs to be virtual, as opposed to being in person, unless the program was, slated to start sometime in the fall. Maybe those would be in-person programs, but for now, we'll keep you up to date on those.
Nancy, would this be an okay time for me to talk about the Go for the Greens program that we're launching this week?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So Go for the Greens is a nonprofit, and we are a small nonprofit that puts on an event every September at Walt Disney World. We are a nonprofit foundation that's run by all volunteers. So our volunteers have been working really hard the past couple of weeks, and we put together a new program that launches this Wednesday. And we are doing a pilot of virtual matchmakers. So we have UPS who we're speaking with this Wednesday on the call. The invitation went out this morning. If you did not get one, just give me your address and I'll forward you an email. It'll be an hour-long program, and we're asking UPS about what they're doing right now. And of course, they have immediate needs like everyone else for things like masks and other personal protection, but they are also actively looking for other things that they use during the normal course of business. They said maybe not marketing, maybe not office supplies right now, but since everyone is working virtually, but they're going to tell us about what's happening there. They're also looking at going to a different kind of portal system. So, you want to get in on that and figure out if you're interested in doing business with UPS. We've been actively pursuing some other companies to be part of this program as well. We have a verbal agreement from Walt Disney World, from Moffitt Cancer Center, and Nike is going to participate in some way. We're also doing Cayman Industries, which is a contractor for the federal government. So if you're interested in any of that, let us know. WBEC Florida is a partner, so we've been working together pretty closely with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say that even if you don't have a product or service that you think UPS might be interested in it at this time, go ahead and listen in, because you never know what you can learn, right? And you can also use this as a touch point. So after the presentation, you could reach out to UPS and say, thank you. We listened, we heard your presentation, we heard you speak, and I learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing you in the future at Go for the Greens. That goes a very long way towards establishing a relationship, okay? And I think it's probably the teacher and the learner in me. Anytime that there's an opportunity to learn something, I'm there with my paper and pencil ready to take notes. But I also like to follow up. Okay, and I also like to follow up by saying a big thank you on behalf of women business owners. UPS is a great partner of WBEC. It's a great partner of WBEC Florida. So that's how we can keep our sponsors engaged and appreciating who we are and what we do. All right.
And there is a matchmaker program that goes with this. So after the presentation, that's when the matchmaker portion kicks in. So to register to do just to listen in on the webinar, and by the way, this is all free, but you can just listen in on the webinar. It's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and then the matchmakers will kick in. So you'll be given a kind of a code to get into the matchmaker system, and then it works just like all the other matchmakers we do with WBEC. Is that that the corporates get to pick which suppliers they'd like to interview. So, and they're excited about it. They're working very hard to keep the supply chain diverse on our behalf. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's a great thing what you guys have been able to do in such a short time. That's great for Go for the Greens and business owners.
Yeah, we're all trying, aren't we? This is, our weekly meetings here have been really fruitful, and then our nightly meetings. So, and Nancy, I don't know if you've talked about that yet. I don't think, but how these meetings at 1 o'clock on Mondays differ from the meetings that we're having in the evenings.
Yeah. So every Monday we have a virtual town hall. And you will be hearing from our regional coordinators. So Joanna Sanchez is our Tampa Bay coordinator. Diane Sears is our Orlando and Central Florida coordinator. Emily McHugh has just joined our team as our Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County coordinator. Steph McPhee is our North Florida coordinator, and I'm wearing the South Florida hat for now. So when you join us on these Monday calls at 1, you get to hear from all of the regional coordinators. And every evening, Monday through Thursday and possibly Friday, we have a call at 7 p.m. And those are by region. So the Monday night calls I handle for South Florida. Tuesday night calls at 7 is Diane Sears talking about Orlando and working with the Orlando WBEs. Wednesday is Joanna. Thursday is Steph McPhee in North Florida. And we're going to see about, Emily is so new that we haven't actually coordinated for her when her calls will be, but we'll put that in an email to everybody. And please know that you may attend, and actually we encourage you to attend, the calls from a region other than the one that you're in. Because those calls are gatherings where we talk about challenges that we're having, and it's in a mastermind format. So someone poses a challenge or a question, and then has the benefit of all of the people on the call for options and solutions and advice. So we really, really encourage you to participate. We've had some great calls, and a lot of people have let us know that they've gotten some really great insight from those calls.
Yeah, and also speaking about upcoming dates, April 14th at 1 o'clock, we are having a Certification 101 training, and also we will be featuring some of our very own women business owners on there, and Jacqueline Darna will be there to not only share the reasons why she applied for a woman-owned national certification, but the benefits that she has had with having that certification. So please join us on April 14th at 1 p.m.
And let your colleagues and other business owners know, because it's a certification 101, so it's more of a basic training. But we'd love for you to join us and especially share the information. Okay, Diane, were you going to add something?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm checking the questions, and I did see that Tanya, you want to add free services, and you'd love to host a few webinars. So that's perfect. I'll have Stephanie McPhee reach out to you, Tanya, and she'll coordinate that. And if anybody is interested in providing some free information for us, a webinar, please reach out to me. I'll coordinate with Steph McPhee, and we'll see how we can make that happen. I think this is a great opportunity for you to share your knowledge and expertise. And let me let you know that this morning I took a class. I listened to a class on how to start an online program. And that is something that if you have not considered creating an online program, online training program, you might want to start considering that. I took some notes, and there are really a couple of reasons why you should and why you can, as a small business owner, create an online class. The number one is you're sharing your expertise, right? So, and that's the best way to get noticed. It's the best way to get more clients. It's the best way to connect with your existing clients, is to share your expertise and to be able to claim expert status. Another reason to start an online class, it's a great source of passive income. So you create the class once, you put it on one of the online platforms, and you can, the class, it just generates income for you, right? And it's a great lead generator as well. So think about your expertise, think about your business. What is it that you can share that would generate leads for you and possibly make you some additional income? While I look for my other notes, let me see if do any of you, either Joanna or Diane, have, or Emily, do you have any information or anything to share about online classes?
Okay, so for me, Emily, I would say that in addition to all the different platforms you can do it, Facebook, doing course to class, like a master class and things like that on Facebook, where you can also charge. Obviously they can be free, but you can charge for them there too, if you have a Facebook group, or if you just want to do it on your profile, is another way things can be done too. So kind of just using Facebook, that platform as well.
Yeah, it's a great platform. And one of the things I learned too is a great way to find a market for your class is to join Facebook groups that are industry groups, either related to your industry or an industry that you'd like to explore. And then you can share resources there as well. So I found my notes. The 5 reasons you can create an online course are unlimited passive income. We talked about that. A global reach. Now that's something that a lot of our members unfortunately don't consider, right? You have a product, you have a service. It can be a global company. If you have a website, you can consider yourself global, right? And if you have a website that can accept payment, then better still. Number 3 is establish your credibility, again, as an expert. Number 4, you can enhance your existing learning community. So if you have information already on your website where you provide some training, some checklists, that sort of thing, this is a way that you can enhance that. And then finally, using an online class, online course works well because it's an easily accessible learning experience. people can go in and learn at their own pace. And one of the things that keeps people from starting these online classes is, you know, the fear of how long do these things have to be. Well, the good news is adults like to learn in 20-minute increments. So your class doesn't have to be longer than 20 minutes. If you have a topic that you would like to present, break it up into 20-minute increments, and then you can have a 6-week course or a 4-week course, and you have the information so they can learn it at their own pace, go from lesson 1 to lesson 6 in just a couple of hours, or they start with lesson 1, you give them the information, you give them a couple of things to do over the course of a couple of days. They come back, they do lesson 2, lesson 3, etc. And it's a really great lead generator, okay? And for those of you who are shy about being on camera, you can actually do these courses as presentations with voiceovers. So I hope that that gives you all some ideas on what you can do at this time to really broaden your reach, an international reach, as well as looking at different industries that you might be able to create strategic alliances in, or look to gain more knowledge. All right, does anybody have any questions about setting up an online class?
Nancy, I appreciate what you highlighted there about the 20-minute increments. That's like absolutely excellent, because that lets people know they don't have to sit down there for a really long period of time, and they can still benefit from the information in a manageable format. So that's really fantastic to know. That's the magic number. So that's good. So my question is, what platforms were you recommending, or did you see recommended to promote an online class?
Yeah. So the first one they talked about was Thinkific, Thinkific. Apparently that's the easiest one to use because they've got all sorts of templates that you can use. Plus they've got a really good support, support program, right? So if you're new at this, you can watch, they've got videos, and they've got that are tutorials on how to best create your class and manage the participants. The second one is Teachable. So that's Teachable. The third, Kajabi, Kajabi. And then the fourth one they recommended was Udemy, U-D like David, E-M-Y. And this person said that these are really the easiest ones to get started with. There are probably others that are, have more bells and whistles, but for novices, they said start with these. Okay. Oh, and she did say also that a lot of these have free versions, and you can create a pretty good class on the free version. Okay, so if you subscribe or pay, you get more, bells and whistles that you can add to your coursework, but that the free versions are pretty good.
That's really cool. Thanks, Nancy.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and I see Catherine has given us some more information. So Catherine, I'm going to take you off mute so you can share this great information it looks like you've given us here.
Hi, everyone. I looked up on the SBA website and found the interim rule. Now, this is interim, so it's not final until it's published in the Federal Register. However, it appears to contemplate that businesses can get both an EIDL loan, that's the economic disaster loan, and a PPP loan. And it says in the interim rule, which if you want to send it out via email to everyone, there's a PDF, that if your EIDL loan was not used for payroll cost, it does not affect your eligibility for a PPP loan, PPP being the payroll loan. If
Okay.
your EIDL loan was used for payroll costs, your PPP loan must be used to refinance your EIDL loan. And it also says proceeds from any advance up to $10,000 on the EIDL loan. That's the one that people are getting the grant right away if they applied for it through the SBA, will be deducted from the loan forgiveness amount on the PPP loan.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for that. And I see you added the a link to the website too. So I think the thing for everybody is to do a little bit of research to make sure that you know what you're applying for and what the restrictions are.
Oh, that's a great question Jacqueline just had. Can you include 1099s who have been working for 12 months for the PPP loan?
Yes, so the answer to that is yes. Because the application itself asks you to how many employees you have, but it says that you can include that.
Nancy, I just want to say that the SBA actually issued some interim guidance that seemed to conflict with that independent contractor allowing those to be included.
Okay.
There's a lot of confusion here. I think it's unclear currently whether they can be included right now.
Oh, okay. Well, the application on Bank of America asked if you have employees and what are they called? Independent contractors. So yeah, I think that the thing right now is this is so new that we're all trying to figure it all out, right? The banks are trying to figure it out. The guidance hasn't completely come down from our administration in the SBA. So I guess the best thing is buyer beware, right? Read as much of the fine print as you can and take advantage of your SBA and SBDC resources to ask those questions directly.
And just so, sorry, really quick, I wanted to also let everyone know that if independent contractors cannot be included for the employer, then they may be able to apply individually, is what I've heard.
Yes, and that was on the application as well. Are you self-employed and are you an independent contractor? So yeah, you can apply both ways. But buyer beware, as they say, right? We've given you some links and some ideas, and it's up to you to really be very diligent and intentional when you make these applications. All right. And any other questions or comments? I'm trying to go through the whole the chat to see if we've missed anything. No, I don't think I see anything that we haven't answered.
Oh, and Nancy, I wanted to share that over here on the Treasure Coast, our SBDC, in conjunction with a local magazine publishing company, started a magazine called the Treasure Coast Business, magazine. And so I think it would be a great place to feature the WBEC and the fact that I'm doing this for the region. They were highlighting Women's History Month for the next issue, but that's March, however. But the issue comes out, I think, in April. I don't know if it's too late for the issue, but I just want to make you be aware of the magazine.
Thank you. And that reminds me that, a good thing for all of our business owners right now to be doing is to be writing articles, right? Or submitting articles to local magazines. They're always looking for great and innovative stories of success. So if you've got something that a great story on how you've pivoted your business or how you've managed to keep your staff on staff, reach out to your local business magazines and see whether or not you might be able to tell a story. And if you're not able to get into a magazine, tell your story on your website, tell your story on your social media. People love to hear stories, and that's how we learn best is by reading a good story or listening to a good story. And don't be shy about doing that. It's all about connecting with your clients, your existing clients, your potential clients, and connecting with other colleagues that you might even be able to do some strategic alliances with. So take advantage of now if you've got some downtime to really craft your story. And you can use your story in your LinkedIn profile. You can use it on Facebook. You can use your story to do so many different things, right? And if you want to vary what you're doing and maybe not have you on camera all the time, interview your staff. Tell the story through your staff, how they came on board, how they're managing through this situation. You know, the more you share creativity and ideas for managing through this pandemic, the more you'll be seen as a great resource and a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Diane, I know you're an editor. Can you give some quick tips on what editors are looking for in stories?
Oh, right, for sure. Well, you definitely want to tell the story in a way that's compelling, so maybe not in chronological order necessarily. Start off with something that's going to kind of grab people's attention. And then what is it about your story that's different? So everybody has a story. Every single person has a great story to tell. You know, so what is it about yours that makes it different? What is it about your company or something you're doing that's different? I love reading things like blogs where people are kind of pouring out their thoughts about what's happening. So it's not just the nuts and bolts of the story, but also the perspective of that. Magazines are not always looking for that kind of perspective. Sometimes they're looking for the nuts and bolts. So you really need to know what the audience is. If you're going to pitch it, you need to know who you're pitching it to, and you know, kind of what that magazine style might be. But if you're writing a blog for your own website or for LinkedIn, that kind of thing, you should really infuse your personality into it. When people read that, if they're potential clients for you, they're going to want to see your personality. I think that's one thing that a lot of companies do, not incorrectly, but maybe not as effectively as they could. They have these corporate blogs that are really kind of sterile. And, you know, my companies have been, unfortunately, have done that as well. But they're kind of sterile, and they seem like they have kind of interesting information and that kind of thing, but there's no personality. You can't see the personality of the company coming out. I remember there was one company that was from California that did a great job with all of their social media, and anything they ever wrote, it was always kind of bouncy and funny and a little bit kind of hip, but it was very, very professional. You know, they would get across, they were talking about accounts payable technology, and they could still make it really fun. So if they can do it, you guys can do it.
Right, Diane, there's a question from Tanya. Is there any resource, or would you be able to send us a structure of a pitch to local editors to help our communities during this time? So Tanya, I'll just answer that by saying we'll work on something, and we'll send out an email. There's also a really great resource called Help a Reporter Out, HARO. And you can sign up either as a person to be interviewed or as a resource person, right? So look at that, HARO. Reporters are always looking for stories. I have been approached by some reporters to give statistics, right? What's going on with our members at this point? What are we seeing? What are the trends, et cetera? So the thing to consider when you're helping a reporter is to be really clear of, you know, what is the expression, Diane? What's to be available? What I can't remember that.
Oh yeah, be bold, be what it was Leonard's saying.
Yes, be bold, be brief, and be gone. That was
Yeah.
no, but what I was thinking about is when you tell a reporter on the record, be careful of what's you know, what you're talking about on the record and what you're talking about off the record, right? Be sure that when you're speaking with a reporter, that you do give accurate facts, right? If you don't know something, don't make it up. Just say, you know what, I don't know. Let me look into that and get back to you. That's much, much better than you saying, well, I think it's about 30%, and then only to find out later that it's, you know, way less or way more than that. And you end up, you know, not looking credible. So be specific. And if you don't know something, just say, you know, I'm not the best person for this story, but if you ever need information on XYZ, that's my expertise. So you can work it that way, so they may call you back if they need you know, information on something else. And then the best thing is refer your clients or refer colleagues. Because reporters love to do stories where they interview several different people. And if you can be seen as a great resource, I could say, you know, contact Diane Sears, she knows the Orlando market, or contact Joanna Sanchez, she knows Tampa Bay, as opposed to me just speaking, right? So the reporter then gets 2 or 3 quotes from different regions, and that really helps them out. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see if we have any other comments. App.sumo is giving away free. Oh, perfect. Okay. So there's from Delinda, we have a couple of different platforms for creating courses. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Well, we hope that you have found this to be very useful, and that you will join us again next Monday at 1 to learn what's going on around our different regions. And please consider joining the evening calls as well, because those we can go into a little bit more of a deep dive. If you have a specific question, we can, again, using the mastermind concept, we can help you address a challenge or get some advice that you might need to help your business at this time.
Yes, and also if you're wanting to save this chat, the chat box, if you look down at your screen and you see 3 dots on the right, you click that and it says save chat. And you can go back to the conversation later and access the resources that were provided for you.
Great tip. Thank you, Joanna.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm going to officially say goodbye and thank you. Be safe and be well. And we hope to see you in the course of the evenings over this week and on our next Monday call. And if any of you have something specific that you would like us to address, please go ahead and email us, and we'll try to make that happen for you. Okay, so thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Nancy.